Hello guys, welcome again to our YouTube channel. Myself, Chirant Veer, placement coordinator from mechanical department. We have Sriram with us, who has got placed in Sandvines, and he's from EC department. Hi Sriram.
Hi, Chira.
Hi. So, how do you feel that you have been placed in this company and how this company works?
Yeah. So Sandvine is a telecommunication based company. So basically, it's a networking company that handles internet traffic. I'll give you an example. Like for example, if a person is watching Netflix, okay, so that guy uses high bandwidth Netflix, and someone else is trying to do a video call. Okay, so if the bandwidth is wholly focused on Netflix, then the person who is trying to do a audio call, the latency gets reduced in the towards the web call user. Okay, so that's why the handline what basically does is it tries to manage the internet traffic in such a way that it is more efficient to every user, not just for the high bandwidth users. Yeah.
Okay, so what was the process which you have gone through for the recruitment?
Yeah. So Sandvine they had four major rounds. So first round was the test. First round was test. In the test they were focusing on aptitude and other technical skills. Okay. So for in the aptitude they were like basic math and quantitative and verbal skills and all that. And for in the technical test, it was focusing on networking, OS, basic programming like Python, then C++, and then shell scripting, and all this stuff. Then after this test round, there were two technical rounds and one HR round. Okay, so in the first technical round, there was only one person, and he had actually gone through my resume, and he actually focused more on my resume and started asking more questions related to my resume rather than what they actually wanted to know from me. Okay, so when he asked, since I'm from electronics and communication branch, he asked more about electronics core questions. Okay, so he asked more electronic and core questions. But since I was not that prepared for electronics core questions, but I was more focused on software. So I tried my level best, and then in between I requested him to ask more about software because I had prepared that. But then he mentioned that he wanted to check the like whatever stream you are basically in. He wanted to check how strong you are in that particular stream. So he asked more about electronic questions, and later on he started asking software-based questions. Then he asked me about machine learning because my resume, I had many machine learning and even software-based projects. He asked me more about machine learning projects also in the first round, first technical round. And in the second technical round, there were three people, and they actually asked more about whatever they wanted to know from me. Like for example, in electronics, there's a subject called DEC. They asked more about digital electronics and electronic circuits and all that, like JK flip flop and all that. And later after that, they asked me again. Started asking me about machine learning. Actually, they focused more on what I know rather than what they wanted me to know.
Mhm.
Okay.
So the interview process was more based on the resume, right?
Yeah, more based on the resume. Exactly,
Yeah.
you're right. So,
Okay.
and finally, coming to the HR round. HR round was not an elimination round at Sandvine. They just explained about how the stuff is like in the company. That's it. So it was just four rounds totally.
So when did you start to prepare for the placements and all?
Yeah, I started preparing in around September 2020. In that time, I actually focused more on this programming skills, basic programming skills, and I asked my seniors, asked my relatives who were actually placed in IT. I asked like what might be more more required skills. I asked them, and they told me focusing more on C++, OOPS, and data structures and algorithms and networking. Or all these concepts, like if you focus more on them, then it will be more helpful. So I started working on since I had some practice before in aptitude like in RS Agarwal. I started working on C++. In Udemy, there's a course called Introduction to C++ by Abdul Wali. So I watched that course and then started practicing more on it. And then I watched that course, and that helped me a lot actually. So I started parallelly coding also, like practicing some codes and that. And then after that, C++. After that, I started with data structures and algorithms. Data structures, it was pretty complicated, but still I tried to cope up with it.
So these courses and all, the preparation and all were of great help to you, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then. So what were you open to all the jobs or all the offers, or were you planning only to get the dream company?
Okay. So actually, at first, I was open to all companies. So attempted many other companies like L&T, Juniper Networks, Redbus, which are all come to NI. So I attempted all those companies, and I got offer in L&T also. And I was open to many other open to all companies. But basically, Sandvine I found it intriguing because it was a very good company. I went through the website and all that, but it was versatile.
Okay. So, being in your branch, that is electronics, you have been placed in a software company. So, how do you feel about that? Like, where have you planned? Have you been planning for this, or are you happy for this job?
Yeah. So more than software company, I'd like to say it's a more towards networking company.
Okay.
Basically being in electronics and then getting placed into getting placed into a networking company is pretty challenging. But so actually I want my passion. Electronics I find it interesting, but I actually find more passion working in some networking based company because networking is something I find it interesting since my childhood. I used to wonder how internet works and all that. So when I heard that Sandvine is coming to my college, I actually did a background research about that company, and I found it more interesting.
So, again, many were trying for Sandvine, right? So, what was the X factor in your resume for getting the job?
Actually, what I'd like to say is they actually didn't focus on my resume exactly. They focused on if a person is ready and willing to learn. Okay, not just what you know. They won't just check what you know. They'll try to check whether the person is willing to learn.
Okay.
Like every other company is unique. There won't be no two companies will be same.
Yeah.
But because like if a person is more willing to learn their technology, their software, and their products, then that's how they hire people. So they actually saw that I'm willing to learn, so they hired. In my resume, what I'd like to say is they saw many machine learning projects. So maybe that's what I think is the X factor in that particular resume.
Okay. So, finally, any tips and suggestions for us?
Yeah. I've got a couple of tips for you guys. So what I'd say is at first you should improve your communication skills. Okay, not everyone is a pro in everything. What I'd like to say, if you are not that good in communication skills in first or second year, I'd suggest you to talk with more people, as many people as possible in English, so that you'll be more confident while speaking in English. And the second thing is in the interview. So whatever you're trying to express, try to express it in more confident way. Okay. So when you're saying something, they should feel that you know whatever you're saying. You should not feel like you're trying something. You're not trying to fake something or something. So try to be more confident on whatever you're saying, and also try to convince them that you are a hardworking guy. Also, you can try to work smart.
Okay.
That's it.
So, it was great talking to you,
Thank you, sir.
and thank you, Shira.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. That's it for today.